Good evening and welcome to NNX, where we give you campus news faster than you can eat a bowl of mac and cheese. I'm Julia Narvaez-Magia.
And I'm Maria Heim. Let's dive right into tonight's stories. As early voting begins in Illinois, Evanston residents gathered in Raymond Park on Sunday to advocate for reproductive justice. The rally had support from more than a dozen outside organizations, but was spearheaded by Evanston resident Gretchen Smith-Brewster. Brewster said she wanted attendees to do more than just march and actually commit to supporting these organizations.
What was important to me was that it not be the typical rally, march, everybody go.
Abortion is not only a national issue. Reproductive rights are at the forefront of some Illinois Supreme Court races, where candidates are campaigning on reproductive rights.
Shifting to another initiative promoting change, Chicago Against Line 3 and other climate activist groups met at Elliott Park on Sunday to fight against pipeline projects threatening to damage the Great Lakes, including Lake Michigan. Activists at the event talked about Enbridge Line 3, 5, and a proposed carbon dioxide pipeline in Illinois. With an open mic, music, and speakers, they talked about the impact of pipelines on the water, fearing contamination, and climate activists are concerned.
How much common sense is that when these pipes leak, it's not if, but when?
Michaela's in the studio to tell us more. Now, Michaela, what did they do to protest about these pipelines?
Yes, Julia, so at the event, they also collected money for the Line 3 Legal Action Fund that helps water protectors who are protesting these pipelines that are facing legal challenges. In fact, at the event last year, 2 NU students talked about how they were arrested while protesting these pipelines.
Thanks, Michaela. Maria?
Northwestern recently partnered with Timely MD to provide students more access to mental health services. Since the partnership this past April, 1,039 students have made counseling appointments with Timely Care as of October 14th. 158 have utilized the Talk Now feature.
I was having moments where it was just like, oh, if I don't talk to someone right now, like, I fear for my safety. It was just so helpful, like the Talk Now feature. I was like, for real? And I clicked it, and then someone was there, and I was getting help.
But after 12 free sessions, students have started paying for services. Dean of Students Mona Dugo told NNN this should not get in the way of students receiving care.
If somebody is, say they're hitting session 11 or 12, and they don't have the financial means to continue, then Timely Care would loop back to us so we can look into options.
Students can download the Timely Care app or visit timelycare.com/Northwestern for more information.
This tweet from the Preservation Department at Northwestern University Libraries got national attention last week. It says, sometimes an archivist drops by the conservation lab with a dead fish in an envelope and we all gasp and titter. Then 3 months later, said archivist comes with 17 more and it's not as funny. Now this got us hooked. We sent NNN's Andrew Rowan to check it out for us and he joins us now. Andrew, what did you find?
Julia, I don't know what else to say besides I found a dead fish in an envelope. Look at that on your screen. It's part of the Charlotte Moorman collection at the library. She was a performance artist and part of the Fluxus movement. The main idea of the Fluxus movement is that art and life more broadly is a game where the artist can reconfigure the rules. One example are these envelopes with fish inside of them. They're by Nam June Paik, and if you look closely, it says, "Please return to the sea." Now obviously, the fish is already dead and nothing will happen if you return it to the sea, but it speaks to these artists reconfiguring the rules in their art. And the curator of the collection I spoke to thinks there may be hundreds or thousands of these envelopes, and people could take one as they walk through the gallery. And because the library has a collection of Fluxus art, they ended up being sent some of these envelopes with dead fish inside of them. So the first fish arrived by itself, and conservators put a lot of work into making the fish stay exactly in the envelope's window. It took a lot of effort. But then more came, and here's what preservation librarian Katie Rasu told me.
We really were all like, oh, this is amazing. I mean, we've seen a lot of strange things, but the fish was pretty good. And then when more came down, it was like, oh, there was a lot. Okay. It just kind of changed how we thought about it.
So the rest of the fish, the rest of the fish didn't get that special treatment that the first one did.
Andrew, when I think about the library, I'm thinking about a whole lot of books. Now, where does this actually happen?
So it's all in the basement of the library. The library is home to a lot of different collections, including ones that don't have anything to do with Northwestern. And to properly maintain these collections, thousands of items every year come through what's called the Preservation Lab. It almost looks like a room in tech. They've got fume hoods, chemical storage, and all sorts of tools. Interestingly, though, the chief conservator, Susan Russick, told me, as more things become entirely digital, the more real items are valued. That keeps them busier. Take a listen.
There's sort of a phenomena of the Antiques Roadshow almost,
Yeah.
where I'm like, I used that lunch pail and now it's valuable. I mean, the real, physical materials, I feel like the materiality in our culture is becoming more valued.
So Julia, I've seen a lot of weird things while studying in the library, but this is officially the weirdest thing I've seen in that building.
It does seem like a fish out of water among all those books.
There we go.
Thanks for bringing us this interesting bit. Now, Maria, what do you think about all this? Can you imagine the smell about this fish? What is this?
Julia, I honestly don't want to imagine, but I think that's all the time we got for tonight. Thank you so much for watching.
Stay tuned for Northwestern News Report and Politicat coming up next. I'm Julia Narvaez-Munguia.
And I'm Maria Heim. Have a great night.